like you see a sign from the universe, something happens and you're like, that's a sign, I know it's a sign. Yes, it's a sign. And then you're like, now what? Here are 4 things you can do as soon as you have seen a sign. Number 4 is really all you need, but it's not the easiest thing. It's the simplest thing, but it's not the easiest thing. So I'm gonna go through a couple other things that you can do first. I'm gonna gear this mostly towards animals and animal messengers and spirit animal guides because that's my main thing. That's what I'm best at. We can get signs in many, many ways. I happen to get them mostly from animals, but this can apply to pretty much any kind of sign that you get. Either way, here are the 4 things that you should do as soon as you see a sign. Number 1 is look around. Just look around, kind of pause for a moment, look around. What is happening in that moment? What were you just doing? What were you just thinking? What were you just talking about? What were you just contemplating? What decision did you just make? What question is going on in your mind over and over and over again? Reflect on the things that you would see a sign for, and kind of the first thing that pops in your head is going to be the thing the sign is for. That made sense. Look around. I always say look around. What are you doing? What are you thinking? I just said all that. I don't need to repeat myself. Because a lot of times we see a sign and we're like, okay, what is that about? What is the sign in reference to? I know that this animal is telling me something, but I have no idea what it's telling me. What is going on in that immediate moment? If nothing immediately pops in your head, start there. What is going on in my life? What is going on in this moment? That's usually what the sign is in relation to, especially if you just made a decision or if you just completed a thought. A lot of times the sign is validation that yes, you're right. What decision have I just made? What thought have I just had? What new idea has come into my head? And a lot of times you will get confirmation from an animal, from spirit, from nature, from any of your 5 senses, and what's going on in your life, especially close to the moment you saw the sign or the animal or whatever. Take stock of what's going on to see what that will be related to. The second thing you can do, if nothing pops in your head immediately, you're not sure if it's confirmation or if it's advice or if it's a hard no, this is when you want to consult research. You get to your books, you want to get to the internet, and you want to be very, very careful because there is a lot of junk garbage in both of those things. Consulting books or the internet really should just be your starting point. Your starting point. Here's the thing. Animal messages are extremely personal. An animal that comes to you, a spirit that comes to you, a sign that comes to you is going to come to you. Just because one animal means something to a lot of people doesn't mean it means that for you. That means a lot in it, and I hope it made sense. Symbolism and things play a part, but like they're going to give you your message in the way you need it and in the way they can give it to you. So just because spider represents creation and you had a spider experience doesn't mean that spider is telling you to pursue some new creative project. A lot of times it's telling you that, and collectively lately it has. I have a spider video, but maybe, just maybe, as a kid you were extremely fascinated with spiders, and your uncle, whoever, gave you a spider stuffed animal because you were into them, and you think maybe I should reach out to my uncle. You call your uncle, he has something cool to tell you, you have a moment, it's great. There's your message. It really is so personal. So you have to take any research you do on the internet or any books you read on this, you kind of have to only use them as a launching point to see if they spark some other idea with you for what that means for you. I can help you get started. I have a book, hold on. Ugh, it's in my bag because I carry it everywhere with me. Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. My bag fell down. This is my starting point all the time. There's a lot of great information in here about how to, you know, understand symbolism and what to look for when you see an animal to see what it may be trying to tell you and all those kinds of things. But it also has dictionaries of different animals, and it goes through different sections, separated into sections. So there's birds, there's mammals, there's insects, and you know, the crawlers, reptiles, all kinds of just information about different cultures and what they mean, kind of scientifically, and how they behave in nature and what that means for us. Not every animal that exists is in here, so There is that, but there are a lot, and it's a super great starting point. And if you get a lot of animals, or if you want to understand animals coming to you more, highly recommend this book. I will link it in the description below. This is my starting point. This is not my Bible. I do not read this and understand that to be truth. Read through things, Google on the internet, magical symbolism of alligators. I'll link a site that I like a lot. It's called Spirit Animal something. Anyway, I don't like to use the term spirit animal, but the website is good because it gives you a lot of scientific nature-based stuff, and it also gives you you know, power animal and totem animal information and what that could mean. Take it with a grain of salt. Just like everything else, read through the symbolism and what it could mean and what connects with you, what makes your heart go. You're gonna know, and this is where you have to trust your intuition, but you're gonna know which thing just sparks the idea for you, and then chase that thought and see what the message is for you. This can also work for nature spirits if someone's coming to you, a song on the radio, maybe you need to look up all of the lyrics, maybe you need to listen to the song. You just kind of have to start with books and the internet and follow rabbit holes until you find your wonderland. Okay, I have to stress this again. I know I already said it, but you need to do this with caution. There's a lot of junk out there. There's a lot of cultural appropriation. There's a lot of things that just don't add up. There's a lot of things that are going to definitively say this means this and it means this for you, and that's just not good. Okay, so make sure that you're only using them as starting points. Okay, starting points, and then you just tap into your intuition with that little extra nudge from a book or from the internet and go from there. The third thing that you can do if it's still not working out for you is to call in a professional. Like, I'm not here to just make this video saying, hey, you can call me. Let me tell you what you should do if you've seen a sign. You call me, I'll take care of you. I mean, I will, but like, I'm not gonna be gross like that. The thing is sometimes it just isn't gonna make sense. Sometimes our own heads get in the way. Sometimes our own emotions and our heart gets in the way, and we just can't see outside of ourselves enough to know what's going on inside of ourselves. That's where a professional intuitive can come into play. I do this all the time. I book a reading with somebody, we get on the phone, they tell me what happened, I ask about their life, and together we can come to this conclusion of like, here's what this means. And like every time the person's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly, yes, you're so right, that's what it is. Sometimes it's just easier to like bypass all the doing it yourself and call in a pro. We're just in tune with it so often all the time that our skills are sharp. We can really get there a lot faster and with a little more confidence because we do it all the time. If you were doing this all the time, you'd have the same level of confidence. But if you're not, or if you're just kind of starting to look around, calling in a professional is a great way to just get the message that you really need. They can also be really good to confirm. I listen to what you're saying and everything, and I'm like, you know, I think this means maybe you need to, and you're like, that's exactly what I thought. So sometimes booking a reading with a professional can help confirm what you are already suspecting or what you think you know. This one's an optional step. I'm gonna tell you, you don't need a professional, you definitely don't, but sometimes it's just easier and quicker and can be a little more confirming when you think it means something, and then an intuitive is like, I think it means this, and that's the same thing, which happens a lot. I'm not here to just advertise my services. It is something that I offer. Links for readings are in the description below if you are interested. The fourth thing that you should do when you see a sign, and honestly, this is really the only thing you need to do. It takes a little practice. You can ignore literally everything else, but when you get a sign from the universe, stop. Stop everything. Freeze time. That'd be really cool if you could do that. Stop everything, clear your mind, and the first thing that comes into your mind when this message, sign, whatever happens to you is what the message is. If you are able to clear out all the junk and to just zone in on the message and clear out what you think it means and clear out what you're hoping it means and erase all your expectations and just be in that moment for that 1 second, the first thing that pops in your head is what it is. That's what it is. Listen, this comes with practice because clearing out all the junk, making it not murky in here is not easy. I can't even do it a lot of the time. I cannot do it instantly, that's for sure. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it also takes practice to trust the message you get. It is so difficult to trust our own intuition, to trust that that thing that comes in our head is what it is, and to just not question it and have zero doubts. That takes more practice, in my opinion, than clearing out all of the junk so that you can hear the message. But that is all it takes. Sounds simple, is not simple. But with some practice, it can totally happen. So if you're getting things and you think they're little signs, start practicing. Clear out however you find to do that. Clear it all out. What is the first thing that pops in your head? That's it. That's your message. That is it. And that's really hard. I know it's really hard. And then you have to trust it though. Wholeheartedly, with zero doubt, believe that that's it. Contemplating some big life change, some big decisions. Should I quit my job and start this business? Should I move across the world? Should I have another kid? And you get a sign and you clear it out. And the first thing that pops in your mind is, yes, you should do that. That is really hard to just be like, okay, quit your job, move across the world, have a baby. We can't even do it with the little stuff a lot of the time. You'll get better with practice, but at the end of the day, that is the only thing that you need to do when you get a sign from the universe or an animal messenger or whatever. Stop, clear your mind. The first thing that comes into your head, the first feeling you have, that's it. That's your message. And go with it. Those are the 4 things that you should do as soon as you see a sign, animal, a spirit, a song, a taste, a memory, a whatever you hear from whatever. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. My name is Kim and I am a psychic and animal mystic. If you are contemplating if an animal is a sign or is not a sign, or you don't know, you have some kind of encounter or experience or something keeps repeating itself, click or tap right here to watch this video to help you figure that out. Thank you so much for being here. Please remember that we're all gonna be okay.